Welcome back. Today we're taking you on a ride through one of Kent's best-kept secrets, the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. It's a narrow-gauge steam railway tucked away right here in Sittingbourne, and it's got a lot more history and a lot more going on either side of the track than you'd ever expect from a 2-mile ride. This little railway was never built with people like us in mind. It was built to make paper. Back in 1867, the newspaper owner and publisher Edward Lloyd built a mill here at Sittingbourne to keep his printing presses fed, and for years the whole operation ran on horse-drawn wagons hauling pulp and coal around the site. Steam didn't arrive until 1905, when 2 locomotives called Premier and Leader turned up, and remarkably, both of them are still on this railway today, over 120 years later. By 1923, the business had grown so big that a second mill was built at Kemsley, and at the time, it was the largest paper mill in the whole of Europe. At its peak, this narrow 2-foot 6-inch gauge system had over 10 miles of track, 14 steam locomotives, and it ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including its own passenger service, just to get mill workers to their shifts on time. When the company finally stopped running trains here in 1969, volunteers moved in almost overnight to save it, and the railway's been preserved and running ever since, using many of the very same engines that used to haul paper for a living. One of those locomotives has a name you might not expect, Edward Lloyd, named after the very man who built the mill in the first place. And during special events, that same engine gets dressed up to play Ivor the engine, the little Welsh steam engine from the classic children's TV show, which always goes down well with the kids. Now here's the thing about the day this was filmed. It was baking hot, one of those proper dry spells we've had this summer. And the government had actually issued a warning that morning telling heritage railways not to run their steam engines because hot cinders from the firebox can spark a fire in tinder dry grass right next to the track. It's been happening up and down the country this year. Other heritage lines have had exactly the same problem. Some, after fires, had already broken out on their own lines, so instead of the steam locomotive you'd normally expect, the railway switched to one of their diesel engines to pull the carriages today. A bit of a shame if you were hoping for the smoke and the whistle, but completely the right call. Better safe than starting a fire on your own railway. The journey starts at Sittingbourne Viaduct station right by the retail park. It's built on the site of the old transfer sidings where wagons arriving from Ridham Dock and Kemsley Mill used to be split up and sent off to different parts of the site. It's a fairly no-frills little station. There's an accessible toilet here now thanks to some recent government funding, but for the café, the shop and the museum, you'll have to wait until we reach the other end of the line. From there, the train climbs out of Sittingbourne on a century-old reinforced concrete viaduct, half a mile of it, built to lift the line up and over the marshes towards Milton Creek. It's a proper feat of engineering for what was, at the end of the day, just a works railway for a paper mill. For decades, this line also ran alongside something you'd never guess. Huge overground pipes carrying live steam from the boilers at Kemsley Mill all the way to Sittingbourne, arching right over the roads at every level crossing. That's long gone now, but it tells you how industrial this little railway really was. It wasn't just carrying passengers, it was part of the mill's plumbing. This makes this railway so different from most heritage lines. It isn't a scenic countryside branch line, and it never pretends to be. It's an industrial railway, and the ground either side of the track has a properly murky past. The train now runs through Milton Creek Country Park, but this peaceful green space used to be a rubbish dump. Barges used to bring bricks up from here to London, and come back down the creek loaded with London's household waste, which was simply burned or buried on this very site. Off in the creek nearby, not always right in view, but close by all the same, you can still find the rotting remains of old sailing barges left abandoned in the mud, some of them well over a century old. One of the wharves along here, Churchfield Wharf, was even used as a ship-breaking yard where old vessels were deliberately broken up for scrap. It's not all industry and decay, though. This stretch of marshland is now home to some seriously rare wildlife, including the shrill carder bee, one of the UK's rarest bumblebees, along with nightingales, great crested newts and glowworms. So somewhere under all that industrial grime, nature has quietly taken the place back over. From there the train slows right down, crosses under the Swaleway, and rolls into the marshes towards where Kemsley paper mill once stood, before pulling into Kemsley Down, the railway's main base and the end of the line. This is also where some of the railway's strangest locomotives used to work. Did the Fireless engines. These were steam locomotives with no firebox at all. Instead, they were filled up like a giant thermos flask, charged with high-pressure steam straight from the mill's own boilers, and could run for hours on a single charge without ever lighting a fire of their own. There's one preserved here today, though sadly, there's no longer a source of high-pressure steam left to charge it up and run it. Kemsley Down is a proper working site, not just a pretty terminus. There's an engine shed where you can see locomotives being restored and maintained by volunteers. At any given time, there'll usually be at least one engine in bits having its boiler rebuilt or its wheels retired. One of the railway's locomotives, Melia, took 23 years to restore after being taken out of service, and even then it went on to win a national award for the quality of the engineering work. There's also a rake of old wagons and carriages dotted about, giving you a real sense of what a busy industrial railway yard used to look like in its working days, and a small wildlife garden to wander through. For visitors, there's the footplate Café for a cup of tea and something to eat, a gift shop for a souvenir to take home, and a small museum telling the story of the railway and the paper-making industry that built it, plus toilets here too, so it's a proper stop, not just a turnaround point. So that's the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway, a working slice of Kent's industrial past, still rattling along on the very same track it always has, past rare bees, sunken barges and a working recycling plant, diesel-hauled or not. If you're local and you've never been, it's well worth the trip, and it's a brilliant little day out. If you enjoyed this one, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next video.